Hi everyone, it's me Leslie here with another video. Thank you so much for watching my video and thank you so much for subscribing. Today I am doing a story time discussion to talk about seeing the humanity in everyone. So about a year or two ago, I was on a walk with my daughter. Before the walk, I had checked the weather and noticed that it was going to be basically a clear day, and later on in that afternoon there was a 10% chance of rain. So I just put a little umbrella in the stroller and we went for our walk. It was primarily clear outside, a beautiful day. After about 20 or 30 minutes of walking, I noticed clouds were quickly moving in. And by the time we were on the way back from our walk, which is typically about an hour walk, I noticed that the sky was totally gray. The clouds were getting darker and darker. I started to get worried because once I felt a couple of light raindrops, I was still about 20 minutes from reaching the house from where we were. And so I was looking around and thinking to myself, oh my gosh, if the rain really starts coming, what am I going to do to keep my daughter and I safe from the rain? And all of a sudden, some people pulled over next to us. And this was during the pandemic, the COVID pandemic. And two people in a van pulled over. It was a lady and a gentleman. And the lady driving, she looked over at me and said, "Do you need a ride? It's really about to come down outside. Do you need a ride?" And I said, no, we've got an umbrella. We'll be okay." And she said, "You know what? You need to get in this. You need to get in this car and let me help you. Let me help you and your daughter get home." And so I said, "Okay, I will take you." For some reason, I said, "Okay." I usually won't accept offers from strangers, but I just felt, okay, I need to accept this offer right now. And so the lady's partner got out of the car and helped me put the stroller in the car. My daughter and I moved into the back seat. And right as we all got back in the car, after putting all of my stuff in the car, the rain just started pouring down. I mean, it was a downpour. It was a miracle that lady stopped when she did, and she insisted that I let her help us. She told me she had some kids of her own, and she understood how hard it could be sometimes when the weather gets the best of you. I'm bringing up this story. Luckily, everything worked out fine. She got me home. My house was literally like a 2-minute drive from where we were. She knew the neighborhood. It was great. She dropped us off. I asked her if I could give her some money. She wouldn't accept it. And I said thank you over and over again, and then they were on their way. And I still think about that lady sometimes because she didn't have to stop. She didn't have to care about what happened to me and my daughter once it started raining. But she did. And I'm bringing up this story because she had compassion. She put herself in my shoes. She thought to herself, but what if that were me? She was safe in her van. She was safe. If the rain came down, she'd just have to turn on her windshield wipers and whatever, she'd be fine. She didn't have to worry about me. She didn't have to worry about my daughter. But she did. And I'm still touched by her offer. I'm still touched by her compassion. I still feel like it was a miracle that she pulled over when she did, because as soon as we got in her vehicle, like 10 seconds later, It was a huge downpour. And I'm primarily making this video because I truly want to state that it is so important in life to try and put ourselves in the shoes of another. If we don't understand where another is coming from, try to put ourselves in their place. Imagine what it would be like if you were going through what they were going through. How would you want somebody to react? How would you want somebody to treat you if you were in a precarious situation? In that precarious situation. There are so many instances of people truly having kindness and compassion for another in need. But there are also so many situations where some of us just refuse to have compassion for others and refuse to put ourselves in somebody else's shoes and try to relate to where they're coming from. Try to understand someone from a different perspective other than our own. Perhaps we don't see how they're suffering, but perhaps we can try to see and feel how they're suffering. By doing this, I believe that we could truly change the vibration of the world we live in. We can truly bring more light into the world. If we don't know how to feel compassion, we can practice feeling compassion until we get it. I think a good way to try to feel compassion, if that isn't something that we are used to feeling, and of course compassion is when not only do we feel badly for a situation somebody's being placed in, but we also want to alleviate the suffering that that person has been placed in. You feel, you understand where they're coming from, but you also want to alleviate that suffering. The lady who picked up my daughter and I, she understood our suffering and she wanted to alleviate that suffering. And she did. So, for those of you who perhaps have difficulty putting your feet in another's shoes and feeling the desperation of another, perhaps you can think about a time in the past where you truly felt desperate and truly felt abandoned and wished somebody would help. And they didn't. Or wish somebody would help and they did. So if you struggle with compassion, try that. Try remembering the time where you needed help and someone helped you out. Or you needed help and you wished somebody would have helped you out. All of us have been desperate at some point in our lives. Nobody is above desperation. And also, we are all capable of feeling compassion for our fellow human beings. So, in closing, I just want to reiterate. Let's all practice having compassion for one another. Let's all practice seeing the humanity in each other. For even though something desperate or difficult isn't happening to you or your family now, perhaps in the near future or in the distant future, something desperate or difficult will happen to your family then. And at some point in time, we all need a helping hand. And we all need understanding. And we all hope that in those times we get compassion and understanding. So that's where I'll end the video today. Thank you so much for listening. And please, as always, I'm happy to read the comments in the comments section. And until next time, bye.